when someone is asking you a question, the first thing I would say is that you want to think about their intention. Okay. So when someone's asking you specifically about your time traveling, what do you think they want to hear? What's the intention? So when someone asks you about travel, it's usually because they want to get something out of it. So when we're communicating, there's usually an objective, right? And usually people want to have some form of either entertainment or education or something that keeps them interested. So when we're communicating, one of the things we want to do is we really want to think a lot about the intention of the other person that's asking, or the objective of what you're trying to communicate. I thought it was really good that you gave an overview. You said, I went to Kathmandu, I went for work, like this. You gave a good overview of it all, right? And so when you're doing this stuff, one of the things you want to do when you're talking to people, especially when you're storytelling, is you want to paint the picture. Okay, so you want to give people a taste of what it looks like. So you want to describe it. So when you're telling people, like when you say, for example, I went to Kathmandu, you want to give some description of it. For example, if I said, yeah, I went to Denmark. Denmark is very sunny. I would say the roads are very large. They're very clean. It's an expensive country, but it's sparsely populated. There aren't many people there, so that people get like a flavor of what you're talking about. So I think one of the things you could do to improve is actually paint the picture with a little bit more detail. Paint the picture with a bit more detail. The second thing I would say is whenever you tell a story, the stories, they have a 3-format structure. A story has setup. This is where you're describing the situation as it is. Then you have conflict. There's always conflict in a story, like a guy, he likes a girl, but he can't marry her. So that's like a conflict. So you have setup, conflict, and then solution. And the good thing is in your speech, you were talking about you being ill. You being ill is actually a conflict because you went there for work, but then you got ill, conflict, right? But along with the conflict, you want to give a resolution. So when you're talking about it, you want to say, look, I actually went there for work, but I had a massive problem because I wasn't feeling well. And Kathmandu is like this, it's like this, it's like this. And while I was there to do this and this, but this was the challenge. But what happened is I just soldiered it through it. I got up, I had a shower, I felt better. I went in, I did what I had to do, I finished. And then from there, you can just tell the story. So what I would say is that one of the things you want to get good at is telling the story. And that is to think about the objective, try and paint the picture with a bit more detail, and then try and include like interesting facts, and remember the setup, conflict, and resolution as well.